Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Just checking to see if I'm safe back here. How you guys doing? Long time no see. Ohisashiburi. Wow, like I said, it's been a while. It's really been a while. I just checked my social media platforms and I realized it's been almost 6 months, half a year since I posted things last on the internet. Wow. Oh my god. I remember when I made this video in January, I said, I'm going to be consistent this year, this and that. But life has been lifing. I don't even know how I stayed this long. This year has been super fast. Really fast, guys. But yeah, so that's it, guys. I'm back here. I'm trying to stay like I never left. God help me. So thank you guys so much for everything. I've seen a lot of messages asking me, am I still in Japan? How am I doing? It's been a while. Well, I'm representing. I'm still in Nihon. So I'm still in Japan. Yes, I had a short trip outside the country, but yeah, I'm back for now. So guys, how are you guys doing? I see we have a lot of new subscribers and some of the videos have been doing well in numbers. Thank you guys so much. So if you're new here, I am Akuna, a Nigerian living and studying in Japan. So here I just talk about my life experiences, life in Japan, what's up with being a student, and the rest of it. And so that brings us to today's video. So guys, stay tuned, don't go anywhere. So it's school season, guys. Everybody's trying to, find a way to get into one school or the other. And it's also school season in Japan. So I've been getting lots of messages asking me, how do I get into school in Japan? How do I do this? How do I do that? So I'm here to give you guys all the gist, like how it happened for me when I got here 6 years ago, how it's been going, a few changes that have happened, and how you could get into schools in Japan. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Welcome back. First things first. I like to announce this as much as I can so that people don't get, overwhelmed and the rest of it. And actually, I prepared something, so I'll just like to be reading out from my computer so I don't miss out on anything. Let's get into it. So first of all, one thing people should know is that Japan is not an English-speaking country. So the official language is Japanese, and I think this is where many people miss the mark. People get in and then they are surprised. What's going on? What's happening? I would say literally more than 70% would not really want to communicate in English, even if they know a little English. So basically, the official language is Japanese. Most things you will see everywhere, everything is going to be in Japanese, and then sometimes a little touch of English here and there. So let us get that down so that everybody is aware of that. But that shouldn't deter you. Don't run away. Stay tuned. So the first thing first, if you're looking into getting into the graduate studies, which is the route I came through, the first thing to do is to search for schools that offer your intended course of study in English language. So basically, you might find that every school probably offers your course of study. Let's say you studied medicine, definitely every university is most likely going to be offering medicine to students. But are they offering these to people who do not understand Japanese? That's the question. So it's important that you figure out these schools that offer those courses in English. So this is going to be where you have to put in a lot of work. So I don't have like a list of schools that offer courses in English. Of course, most schools are going to offer courses in English, but it's about, are they going to offer what you want in English? So it is best that you just go on the internet. You could say top 10 schools in Japan. Where are you? The list pops up. You go through all the schools' websites and check for the courses they offer. So it's just a simple step. Just type, for example, if you want to go to Tokyo University, courses offered in English in Tokyo University, courses offered in English in Osaka University, courses offered in English in Kyoto, in Tohoku University, Fukushima University, things like this. If you have a particular area in mind, you want to be in the West Coast, East Coast, North, South, it's up to you. Just you could always streamline to universities in those areas. So that's how you get going. So now that we've put that aside, one other important thing to note is that Japan operates a 2-semester calendar. So you have the April and the October calendar. For the most part, April is for Japanese students, while October is for international students. So in Japan, the fiscal year starts in April. So technically, this is the 5th month of the year and not the 9th month of the year, which would be according to the Western calendar. So in Japan, we count from April as the 1st month of the year. So it's technically when most Japanese students get into school. However, there could be some exceptions, which I would mention later. So that's going to be a bonus. Stay to the end of this video to find out where the exceptions come in and what pathway can make you come in April. especially those who will be aiming for April 2025. So this guidelines is basically going to be for probably graduate students who are looking to getting into school in October 2025, because that's when this is the application period. It's typically a year before that you start these applications. So one other thing that I usually get is questions from undergraduates. So why do you always do graduate, no undergraduate videos? That's because I came into the graduate program, and then for the undergraduate program, most of the courses are taught in Japanese. So you have to be very fluent, proficient in Japanese to take undergraduate courses in Japan for the most part. There are a few courses I would show you guys. So for example, when we look at this school, this is Tohoku University. We see that the undergraduate programs here, you have just three. You have the AMC Advanced Molecular Chemistry course, you have the IMAC U, then you have the Applied Marine Biology course. These are just three. But when you look at the graduate programs, you have a lot of it. So you have, let's count. Oh, the line keeps going. So you can see what I'm trying to say now. For graduate courses, you have a lot of options. But for undergraduate courses, there are very few. So in this case, you have about 22 courses that are offered in the graduate programs, and the courses are taught in English. So this is usually what the disparity looks like. Most undergraduate courses are taught in Japanese. That is why I do not have so much information about undergraduate courses. But once you go to the internet, just the way you've seen this, you would also find it across board. And then when you figure this out, check for the eligibility requirements. So things like TOEFL, GRE, IELTS, and the rest of it. So basically, Japan does more of TOEFL English requirements because they have this affiliation with the US. So unlike most other schools everywhere else in the world that would typically ask for TOEFL or IELTS. So just so you guys know that. So if you're going to study in Japan, you have to check out the requirements. So luckily, if you're coming from an English speaking country like mine, Nigeria, this is most likely to be waived for you in most schools. I can't say for all schools, but I know that most people who I know that are studying or have studied in Japan from English speaking African countries didn't need to write the TOEFL exams. So once you just prove to them that you're from an English speaking country, that saves it. So back in the days, for me, I had to prepare a certificate known as Certificate of Proficiency in English, something like that. It's just simply a certificate to prove that I took all my classes in English back in Nigeria. I got it from my university. The state said that I took all my courses for the number of years I spent in the university in English language. It's the official language of the country, and things like that. And my results and everything, my transcripts, we are all in English. So that makes everything very easy. But if you're from a non-English speaking country, you're most likely going to be asked to write the TOEFL exams because they have to make sure that you're able to meet up in class and the rest of it. So bear that in mind. And then some courses would require you to write the GRE exam, graduate record examination. Mine wasn't required. I'm studying chemistry, by the way, so you'd have to confirm if that is necessary. I know some people require it. Some schools, I've heard someone ask me about it. They wanted to study economics and they were asked to write the GRE exam. They have to confirm that. And then some of the most commonly required documents, transcripts, recommendation letters, probably from people in academics, probably your supervisor, previous supervisor, or something like that. I'm not sure if it's only from those in academia. I think it's best to use those in academia. But if you don't have, you could always confirm from the university to figure out if you could use people from your workplace and the rest of it. And then personal statements, statement of purpose, prove to us why why you really need to come here to study. So things like that. But this list is not exhaustive, so you just have to check what applies to every university and the rest of it. So now that we have the documents, by the way, you have to narrow down your search to groups or to the laboratories in my case. So as a science student, you're most likely going to be attached to a laboratory. It's important that you check, okay, I've gone to this Tokyo University's website. They offer, like in my case, chemistry. So what branch of chemistry are you looking at? Are you an analytical chemist, organic chemist, things like that. You have to streamline that. So in my case, I have to streamline to groups or laboratories that are majoring in analytical chemistry and inorganic chemistry, because these are the two branches of chemistry I was interested in at that time. So when you narrow it down to these groups, then you send a message to the professors. So I'll typically advise that if you find a group you're really interested in, so for example, you're interested in analytical chemistry, In that analytical chemistry, you're most likely to have probably three, four, five professors. It depends on how big the school is that are offering research or that are doing research in analytical chemistry. So if you see one that piques your interest, you send them an email, but it's good to spread your net across, not just limiting it to one person, just so you have, a lot of choices and options to choose from, and just in case one fails, you have another alternative. In my case, I sent emails to professors in analytical chemistry and those in inorganic chemistry, about four laboratories then in one school. Then you check another school, you do the same. So just so you have a lot of options to choose from. And then, but this applies to mostly courses that require laboratory research. I know there are courses that do not require you to send emails to professors, especially if you're coming for masters. If you're coming for doctorate course, it's important to bear that in mind because you're going to be attached to somebody, definitely your research supervisor. You just have to check some courses you need to send a message to the professors, in some courses you don't need to. Always check the internet, check the website, just be sure of what is required before you start. And then you go on to email these professors, and express your desire, why you want to join their group, how their research is intriguing to you, how you find it important, and probably how your current or previous research connects. It's important to make that loop. It helps to pass your points across and makes your application appealing. Okay, I've been doing this, and I see it's connected to this, so I'm thinking of doing this, and then we're merging together in your laboratory. Something like that. Just a way to prove your points and express your interest. Even write, probably I've read some of your research and this is what I find intriguing. It's really interesting. I'm hoping to contribute in this sort of way in order to boost the research and things like that. You just have to be creative and find a way to pass your points and make the whole application appealing. Remember, it's not just you. It's just going to be like a swarm of bees. Lots of applications will be coming to the professor. So you just have to make your points stand out. So they will take a second look at your email, at your CV, and see, okay, this makes a lot of sense. And things like that. So the next thing is funding. Many people would typically ask, how expensive is it to study in Japan, this and all that. I can't really compare Japan to other countries. The Japanese would say it's expensive. Some other people would say it's not so expensive. But I know that one of the reasons why the population is declining is that the cost of schooling is expensive in Japan, according to some people. And that's why some people don't want to have so much kids. I mean, this is based on people who have asked. About 10 persons have mentioned cost of raising kids, including especially education, as the reason why they don't want to have so much kids or they don't want to have kids. So things like that and popping. So it's all, but it's relative. What is expensive for you may not be expensive for the next person. So luckily, in Japan, the national universities at the moment have a set fee at the moment, but that is likely to change anytime soon because some schools are not meeting up. They feel like with the whole inflation, the Japanese yen has been falling lately. Even it's been nosediving for the past 3 to 4 years. Since COVID, it's been just down the hill. But the price is 535,800. So this is the fees for regular students. In some cases, you can have those in professional courses like medicine, law, paying higher. But this is a standard tuition fee for national universities. So they have national universities, private universities, and some other type of universities. Like I said, at the moment, some schools are like, we can't really go on with this. We may want to change. And it's been a debate. I haven't heard some students had a sort of protest in one school in Tokyo. So, but for now, this is still the general fees for national universities. And then, luckily, these fees don't need to be paid at once. Mind you, this is the tuition fee, not the admission fee. The admission fee is different from this. So for the tuition fee, you're expected to pay half of it per semester. The fee is 267,900 yen. So that means you don't need to pay the 535,800 at once. And most times, some schools offer the opportunity to apply for a waiver, but just a guarantee that you will get it. So just for students who have financial struggles to apply for waiver, and you might be lucky to get up to 50% waiver, which means the 267,900 yen will be divided into two, and you pay half of that for that semester. Some people will be lucky, they get up to 75% waiver. Some people will be slightly lucky, they get up to 25%, and then some people will be unlucky and they get no waiver. So it all depends. You just have to, clench your fist very tight and hope for the best. So, but yeah, if you prove a strong case, you're most likely to get. But before COVID, I think it was a bit fair. But since COVID, the number of applications have been on the rise, and then people have been having financial struggles. So the number of applications have been increasing so much, and the ratio of the waiver that they give you has been declining. So just bear that in mind. But of course, if you have enough money in your pocket, that's not a problem. And then still on money talks, we have scholarships, which I typically would always advise people to go for. Always go for scholarships if you can. That is if your pocket is not so heavy to pay for your fees. Scholarships are just, it's just a lifesaver. That's just the way I'll put it. I mean, those of you who have been here for a long while know I've tested the waters on both sides. So I would always advocate for scholarships. They're a lifesaver. They make things less stressful for you. I mean, to the best of my knowledge and to the best of every other person's knowledge who has been here. And if you're going to go for scholarships, I would usually recommend government scholarships. And the number one government scholarship in Japan is known as the MEXT Scholarship, MEXT. So this is a scholarship that takes care of your tuition. You don't need to stress about that. They take care of your stipends. So they give you monthly stipends, and then they cover your transportation from your country to Japan. I mean, that is a lot. So that is like a Japanese government scholarship I would always recommend. They come in, their package is so good. It's really good. Another one, it's usually offered by organizations. You will find something like JASO, JASSO, offering some scholarships. You would also find other scholarships that are regional, so to say. So you may have scholarship for African students, scholarship for Asian students, things like that. It pops up once in a while, and I see people who apply and get it. And then you could also have country-wise scholarships. Even within a region, you could also have a sub-regional scholarship. I've seen scholarships for Southeast Asian students, and then I've seen scholarships for Chinese students. So you do have these scholarships, from time to time and the rest of it. So you just search the internet. There is a lot of information out there. You could just check and see which one applies to you and go on to apply for it. So since speaking about scholarships, another top scholarship is the JSPS. So this is a very big scholarship. They pay higher stipend than MEXT does, and it's highly competitive. So I know very few people who have gotten this. So compared to other scholarships, this is one of the highly rated scholarships. So JSPS, MEXT. I also know about JASO. I know about JICA. So these are very top scholarships in Japan. Then you'll find other country or regional scholarships like I had mentioned earlier. So just check out the websites. I'll try as much as I can to put out their website so you check and see if they started October 2025 applications, and see if you can meet up or if you're eligible to apply for these scholarships. So I can't really say if you should apply for the scholarship while you apply for admission, because you have to prove that you have admission to apply for the scholarship. But in the case of MEXT, you have to apply through MEXT to the school, and then if you pass the examination and the rest, your admission and the scholarship comes as a total package. So you just have to check Japanese embassy in your country to see if they've released the guidelines for 2025 application. If you're planning to come in April, you most likely have missed the application period. But don't hold me to this. Some schools may still be offering, I don't know. But I know that if you're going to come in from outside Japan for April, you most likely have missed the application period. It's typically a year before. So you'll find applications running from maybe February to May, February to June for those who want to come in April, because it takes a lot of processes and the rest of it. But this video is basically for those who would like to come in October 2025. And that is usually the time where international students come in. So most Japanese students come in April, while international students come in October. That's how it typically works most of the times. But you also have to confirm that from the school's website, but this is basically what is obtainable across the nation. So you just have to bear that in mind. If you're planning for October next year, this is the time to start gathering your documents. Applications usually start from September until November, December, and in few cases until January. But don't hold me to that. Always confirm from the website of the university. Some could be earlier, some could be later, and then some could be in the middle. So you just have to be very sure. And I know that some schools also have probably first or second round applications. So you also have to confirm to see if that really works out for you and the rest of it. But stay tuned, don't go anywhere because I just remembered there is a bonus. There is a pathway you can follow if you want to come in April. Yes, it's still open for those who would like to come in April. And then to the bonus tip, so if you stayed up to this point, welcome, welcome, welcome. Stay tuned. There is this program known as a research program. It's like a 6 months course that people do to assimilate into the program they want to do, to get used to the laboratory, to get used to Japan, and probably figure out if they would continue with the graduate program. So this is for those who have finished undergraduate studies. In this case, you still have to apply to a research group, could be a laboratory or something, and then mention your intention to join them, and then you want to apply for the research program. It's typically 6 months. Some people stay for 1 year, but mostly it's 6 months. So in this case, if you're looking at coming in April 2025, there are chances the application is still ongoing and you're most likely to make it. So what that means that you'll be starting your graduate program in October 2025, but you will get to Japan by April 2025. If you're interested in this program, just click on whatever graduate school you're interested in on the laboratory, and then you will find information about research students. Most laboratories accept research students to the best of my knowledge, especially when it has to do with international students, because it's like a way to get into the system gently and not forcefully. So things like that exist, but many people do not know about it. So this is me giving you that secret. So that's it, guys, for education. I missed you guys so much, and I still have a lot of new people. Thank you guys so much for those who joined. I don't even know what to call us. Who joined the family, even when I've been absent for about 6 months. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for liking. Thank you guys for your questions. And yes, if you have any questions, please don't forget to leave it in the comment section. Just ask me, I would respond. You could also send me messages on Instagram. I'll do my best to respond. But please just go straight to the question. You don't need to exchange so many pleasantries. Just, hey, how are you? I have a question about this. Yeah, instead of doing hello and then you wait for me to reply hi and then good morning and all that. So just straight to the point. I'll do my best to answer as quickly as I can and to the best of my knowledge. If it's something I don't have an idea about, I could ask around or refer you to probably the website or something. So guys, don't forget to always stay tuned, hit the like button, subscribe, and I have a lot of videos coming up, hopefully. I'll do more videos about another educational pathway, which is coming to study the Japanese language. That is also another pathway that people don't really talk about so much. So I know a few persons who have come in through that pathway, and I'll do my best to get more information and share with you guys about the application process and what you should know regarding Japanese language schools. And then I also see that a lot of people are asking me about cars, buying cars in Japan, auction videos. Stay tuned. I'll be preparing more things in that regards as well. So guys, don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for so far, for sticking with me even in my absence, and for those who have checked up on me, I really appreciate. I'm just a stranger, you don't even know me, but you are worried about me. So on that note, we come to the end of this video, but don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, share, tell your family, your kinsmen, your kindred, your community, everybody about me. Thank you. If you want to know things about Japan, just let me know in the comment section what will you be interested in. I'll do my best to see if I can make videos about that. So thank you guys for staying here. I feel like I'm giving a gospel right now. Until the next video, bye guys.